I will teach you about React by breaking down its core concepts. React is a JavaScript library used for building user interfaces, and it's based on the idea of components. Think of components as small, reusable pieces of code that represent a part of your UI, like a button or a text input. To create a component in React, you define a function that returns JSX, which is a syntax extension for JavaScript that allows you to write HTML-like code in your JavaScript files. For example, if you want to create a simple component that displays a greeting, you would write a function that returns JSX, like div, containing the text "Hello World." Look at this code snippet where we define a function component named greeting that returns a div element with the text "Hello World." Now, let's talk about state in React. State is a way to store data that can change within a component. When the state changes, React automatically updates the UI to reflect those changes. For instance, if you have a counter component that displays a number and has buttons to increment or decrement it, the count is stored in the component's state. Look at this graph where we visualize how the state changes when you click the buttons and see how React updates the displayed count accordingly. To further understand how React works, let's consider a simple example. Suppose you have a to-do list app with a text input to add new Todos and a list to display them. The text input and the list are separate components, and they need to communicate with each other. React achieves this through props and state. The to-do list component can store the list of Todos in its state and pass it down to the list component as props. Look at this visualization, where we see how data flows between these components. Now that you've seen how React components work and how they manage state, I encourage you to ask more questions about this topic, such as how to handle more complex state changes or how to optimize your React applications for better performance.